Now we are in day 26, early hour of day 26. That's where we are right now. What we normally do as from this day 26 to day 28 is switching from the starter feed to finisher feed. So that's what we just commenced today. But ideally, what these birds are supposed to consume by this day 26, because we are still in our week 4, is about not up to one full bag, about 20 kilogram, 20 point something kilogram per day. That's what the total birds, because they are about 150. That's what all of them are supposed to consume on this day. That's inside in this week, week 4 till we finish week 4. Now, how do we now measure this feed for this our birds? Now, what we do, that about 20 kg or about 81% of full bag, what we do, we took about 5 kilogram of that feed they are supposed to consume per day, which is about 25%, and then mix it with about 75% of what they've been on, that is the starter feed they've been eating. So we mix them together and then give it to them. Now, another way to economize feed here, you don't have to just take another starter feed and then mix with the finisher feed you are introducing to them. What I did before we started it, there were still some starter feed inside the feed. That what I did, though they picked the seed out of it, most of them were just like that padre form. So what I did, I remove all of them from the feed. I empty the feed, I remove all of them, and then add some quantity to them to mix with the finisher that I'll be mixing for them, and then return the feed back to them. So this is what we'll be doing from this day 26 till day 28. By tomorrow now, we are going to introduce 50-50. Today we introduce 25% of the finisher feed and then 75% of the starter feed. So by tomorrow, we introduce 50% of the starter and then 50% of the finisher. Then by day 28, they will be on 25% of starter, 75% of finisher, so that by day 29, they will be on finisher feed fully. So that's how to switch feed. Now, this method is also very useful if you are switching from one brand of feed to the other. For instance, maybe this breedware that we've been using now, we couldn't get it to buy, though it's available almost in every shop. So we could switch to maybe another brand of professional feed. Then before we introduce the feed, this is the same method we use in introducing new feed. This is very important. Now, another thing I want you to note also is not that by the time you give them on this maybe from that day 29, you give them finisher feed fully, they will eat. You need to be aware of that. This is not a yardstick for you to really introduce your finisher feed. No, if you give them, they are still going to pick the seed, but they won't eat fast as if they were still eating their normal feed, which is the starter they've been on. But I don't want to take any chance, so what I do, I use this method to introduce the new feed to them. This is how I normally introduce my finisher feed. Now you see they've been eating. After a while they rest. After a while they will go back to eat. So you need to be feeding them 24/7. In other words, there has to be light for them 24/7 to be eating every now and then, because we want them to gather that weight as much as possible by day 35 so that we can dispose them. So if you don't feed them 24/7, there is no way you'll be able to achieve that massive weight at disposal by day 35. No, you won't be able to get that, because if you leave them all through the night without giving them food, they won't gather that much weight. So it's one of the measures we take. We feed them 24/7 to ensure that weight we are looking for, they give it to us. Now again, at about I think was it yesterday or 2 days back, I did some level of expansion in this pen, especially for these ones that are the shooters. So the space wasn't enough for them again, so I had to expand it and then created enough space for them. So from what I am looking at right now, the space is still getting smaller, so I may have to push the smaller ones which are on the other side, move them a bit and then create more space for these ones, because for the smaller ones over there, I think they still have more than enough space. So we need to adjust their space so that these bigger ones we have enough space. Now this is the side. This is the side I have the smaller ones that have them in here. They have more than enough space here. So I'm going to adjust my partition so that for the bigger ones they will have more than enough space for them to be moving around, eating, and all of that. So this is how we manage the space for them. Otherwise, if we just have to leave the space the way it is, the bigger ones will not have enough space to grow. So this is very important. But remember one other thing also, the bell drinker, you need to keep washing them 247. And now you might be wondering, I am using automatic drinking system, that is the bell drinkers and the nipple drinkers. What am I still doing with these manual drinkers? You see, the season we are right now is really sunny. When the sun comes out, you'll be surprised the way these birds will be panting, and we don't want to lose any of them to heat stress. So what we do in that case, we include some other manual feed drinkers to the pen, so that they will be able to drink wherever they are in the pen. Now I discovered something, that these birds, is the water they see, that's the one they drink more. That is the one in the nipple drinker, they do drink from that quite all right, but for the bell drinkers, the manual drinkers, they drink more. So that is why I'm still leaving this manual drinkers. Since I gave them the second dose of Lasuta vaccine, I decided to leave it here and using it to give them water as well. So they've been drinking from it seriously. Now our work has actually begun, because the heat stress management, we are really monitoring it well, because we've not lost anyone to heat stress, though we are gradually rounding up week 4. Today is day 26. By in about 2 days from now, we'll be done with week 4. We'll now enter the week 5, where we'll be planning gradually to dispose the birds. So we are really managing the stress. Now they are on multivitamins today. So by tomorrow or by day 28, we'll stop the multivitamin and then leave them on plain water. Now another promise I want to make, at the end of this batch, remember, I want you to be able to draft your own medication chart, vaccination chart. So I'm still going to take you through it, so that we do everything together on how you can generate your own medication chart that will be so effective for you to be using. So I promise at the end of, maybe by day 36, day 37, of which we are done disposing these birds, so we'll go through that medication, all we've given in this batch that we'll be raising. So you draft your own medication chart from there. Now I will also be taking you through, in case you don't want to use synthetic medication in place, you want to use organic medication in place of this synthetic medication. It's still possible for you to do that. I will also be showing you everything on how to do it, so that at the end you'll be bold enough to say, okay, I have a working medication chart. So that's what I promise, and it's what I'm going to deliver. Now, in a way to also manage your medication, what you need to do, that is what we do here, we don't normally miss much medication for them, especially if they are on plain water. It doesn't matter, but if they are on medication, you just give them something they can finish within some hours, not what they can finish for the whole day. No, because during that sunny day we come to check, then on where you normally discharge this nipple drinking system, you observe that when you put maybe the manual drinker there to discharge some water there, for the first few seconds, the water that will be coming out from that pipe will be a bit warm, and that won't be good for your chicken. So we allow that water to drain out for some time. So when we observe that the one coming out from the pipe is now cool, we now lock it back. Now assuming that it's a medicated solution you have in there, so we don't normally throw away that water. This is the management I'm talking about. We pick that water that we discharge, keep it in a cool place, so that after some hours, that medication will be cool again, will be very cool. So we return it to the tank for the chicks to drink. So when you are doing that, you need to wash your hands. You don't need to allow some level of dirt to enter into that water before returning it back to them. So this is how we manage our medication, so that you don't just miss some good volume of medication because the weather is hot, you throw them off, miss another one. That's a waste. So manage your medication this way. Miss some quantity, some volume that you know they can finish for within like 4 hours, 5 hours, as the case may be. Once they are done with that, mix another one with cool water, because what they need this period is cool environment. Cool drinking water is very, very important. So at some other time too, what we do, we put some water in the freezer to make some ice block. So after some hours that water, though it won't be blocked and the water is very cool, we pour that water into the tank for them to be drinking from. You will see how they will rush down, especially during that sunny day. They will rush down and be taking that cold water. So that's how we manage the heat stress this season. So in a way to also curb that heat stress, we also add these multivitamins to their drinking water. And then is vitamin C another option you would have added to their water to ensure that they are cool. So the lost nutrient is replaced in their system. Thank you so very much. This is where we are today. Day 26, early hour of day 26. We are gradually heading towards day 27. So this is where we are today. If you find this video helpful, kindly do well to hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification icon. Like, comment, and share so that we can reach a larger audience. Thank you so very much.